everybody. When I was the president of Shanti Padanama some years ago, the patron of Shanti Padanama, Venerable Korotkov, gave me a book, and he said, please read this book. Not only read it, if you can, translate it. And he said, this is a wonderful book. I read the book and I was really fascinated with what I read. The name of the book was Spiral Traverse. It was written by a professor, a Russian professor, a scientist, and he writes about things that were very close to my heart. As a Sri Lankan, as a Buddhist, as an Asian, we are born and bred into a society where we take for granted things like chanting, spirit, the effect of spirit chanting on water, on tying spirit nool, the energy or the power associated with sacred places, aura of the Buddha or aura that we see in the pictures of the Christ. These are things that we are used to. But now, for the first time, I'm reading a book written by a Russian scientist, a scientist of the highest order, and he writes about these things. And he does not just write about it, he uses equipment, scientific equipment, does research, and says things that really fascinated me. I wrote to him a letter saying that I would like to translate this book, and I asked for permission, and he not only gave me permission, he became a friend of mine. Very recently he wrote to me saying that he's coming to Sri Lanka on a personal visit. Then I said, okay, if you're coming to Sri Lanka, Professor Korotkov, why don't you make yourself available, your expertise and your knowledge and your wisdom available to our people of our country. And he readily agreed to it. So today we have with us in the studios Professor Konstantin Korotkov. Professor Korotkov, you are welcome to this discussion. Okay, I would like to start this discussion asking you now, okay, you have not, although I mentioned the word aura, you do not mention the word aura. I said it because it's close to me, because I'm used to calling it that. You call it the energy field. Now, what is this energy field? Is it true that the Buddha or the Christ or any other sage or saint could have had something like that, something like an aura, which we can't see, but we are used to accepting it? Do people have things like that? And you have said that not only people, even inanimate things, even trees have that. This is something close to what we see from the Kirlian camera. But you say in this book, you say it's not the Kirlian camera. It's a modern version of it, a far advanced version of it. Can you please explain to us what you say about this energy field?
Yes, you're absolutely right. For millenniums, people knew that there are some outstanding people who have some light coming from their body. And we have this in all religions, we have this about all saints, about all holy people. But we don't see it. Why? Because this is really light, and from physical point of view, those are photons coming from the body. But those photons, for ordinary people, they are very weak, very tiny photons. That's why ordinary people, they have very slight glow. But outstanding people, they have this much stronger. And even in our society, in our world, we have people who have much stronger aura, energy field, compared with just conventional people. So we was interested in this topic for many years, and we were able to develop instruments based on Kirlian effect that allows us to study these photons, these energy fields. I don't like the word aura because it has some metaphysical meaning, and we are following a scientific approach. We are following Western science, and at the same time we're trying to make a bridge between Western science and Oriental wisdom, between Occidental approach to everything and Oriental deep knowledge. So, what does it mean, energy field? Those are quantum level of our existence. We are mostly based in our science on molecular level. And this is the basis of genetics, this is the basis of molecular medicine. But beyond this, under this level, we have quantum level, because all existence of our molecules, they are based on exchange of electrons and photons. And it was in mid-30s of last century. We had Professor Alexander Gurevich, who had proven that biological subjects exchange photons. And he had proven this, but it wasn't confirmed by American scientists, and it was just a very unclear situation. And only by mid-60s it was again confirmed by using very sensitive photocounters. So it was found that any subject, would it be ourselves, would it be plant, would it be animal, emit photons. And this is not just random emanation, it is the way of interconnection between cells. So all cells, they interconnect by exchanging photons. We have developed approach based on studying stimulated photons. So we apply very short electrical impulse and we stimulate this photon emission from the body. And after many years of research, it was found that this photon emission gives us a lot of information. So first of all, information about our well-being, about our health, because all organs, all systems, they exchange energy. We know the notion of meridians, we know the notion of acupuncture points, we know the notion of chakras, and this all description of how organs and systems exchange energy. Now we are coming to this notion from Western point of view as well. And now we can find description in our papers, in papers of other scientists, how we can explain this from scientific point of view. But what's important? You know that we all have a feeling when someone looks to you from the back. We feel it. How it's possible? From scientific point of view, modern scientific point of view, it's impossible. From the point of view of energy field, it is logical.
Okay.
Because our energy fields, they are far beyond of our body.
Right.
It's not just little covering around our body, but as it is quantum, it means that it operates all over the space. That's why energy field is the way how we interconnect with each other, how we interconnect with the environment, how we interconnect with humankind. So it is very important notion to understand that we are all, as humanity, we are interconnected with each other. And with our intentions, with our emotions, with our feelings, we influence each other. So with our instrument, first of all, we applied for express diagnostics. So we can study human health. And we can see what's going on physical level. We can see what's going on emotional and psycho-emotional level. And we can even predict some upcoming situations before their physical appearance.
All right. Now, Professor Korotkov, now several questions come to my mind when you speak. Firstly, you say we, a group of scientists. You mean you are a professor of biophysics at St. Petersburg Federal University, and as well as the deputy director of the highly acclaimed Federal Research Institute of St. Petersburg. You are a group of quantum physicists that are working on this, am I right? And is it only in Russia or is it worldwide?
It is worldwide.
It's worldwide.
You are right that we have big group of scientists who work together. So now we have big group, of course, in our Russia, in St. Petersburg, in Moscow, in Novosibirsk, other cities. and we interconnect with each other. We correlate our research plans and exchange our results. Of course, we have big group in our laboratory, in my laboratory as well. At the same time, we have scientists worldwide. I have many colleagues, friends in the United States. And for example, we are developing ideas of quantum physics with one of my colleagues in Washington University. Then we have research lines in different universities of United States. We have research lines in Germany, a lot of research lines. We have research lines in England. So we have centers and colleagues in 65 countries.
Okay.
So it is a real international movement.
Okay.
And of course, we use our instruments. Not only our instruments, we have a lot of other research instruments. So, as you know from movies, in any laboratory we have many different instrumentations, and we use them in parallel.
Professor Korotkov, now you said that the equipment that you are using is far advancing than the original Kirlian camera. What really do you do, and can you show us a sample of the instrument that you are using and just tell us how you do it? I know that you will not be able to analyze and tell us, but if you can just show our viewers what type of thing is being used. I mean, is it something huge which you have to, or is it something a small equipment that, because I have seen you have shown it to me, so I would like you to show it to the viewers as well.
Okay, so first of all, the difference between our equipment, our electrophotonic and GDV equipment, and Kirlian photography is the same as difference between bicycle and Mercedes.
Okay.
So they are both vehicles, but a little bit different. And one of our cameras looks like this.
Okay.
So this is our not latest camera, but one of they do this in thousands in the world, because it's very convenient for travel, for experiments, and it's very simple in use, absolutely non-invasive. It is very easy to understand how it works, and it operates on any computer. So it's really very good.
Now, in the book, you say that you just have to get the impression of the thumb. Is it? Or you take a picture of the. Now, see, my question is this: as a layman, I can't say this. I can't see the energy field of anyone, but you can. Using your equipment, you can. How do you do it? What does the equipment capture?
So we are measuring photons coming from fingers, from toes, from any part of the body, when they are stimulated by electromagnetic field. Right. So, as I've told, it is possible to detect those photons just by very sensitive superconductors. But then you should keep subject, would it be human being or some biological subject, in total darkness for half an hour. And you understand it's very unpractical. In our equipment, you don't need to use any special conditions. You can use it in any environment, in any conditions. So we take measurements mostly from fingers. Why? Because our fingers are interconnected by meridians with all systems and organs of our body. So when we take information from fingers, we get readings of functional state of all systems and organs. We don't see their construction as in X-ray or tomography, but we see functioning. What does it mean? For example, you may have good liver. From construction it may be quite good, but functioning very slow. Or spleen, very often, very typical. Or stomach. So when you make X-ray, it looks very nice. No ulcer, no strong defects, but from functional point of view, it may be very weak, and it's very typical. That's why for conventional medicine, sometimes it's very difficult to understand the reason of some problems. Plus, one more topic. You know that one of the biggest danger of our modern world, those are cancer, stroke, infarctus, and this really
come to the program after the break. Now, Professor Korotkov, we were talking about intentions. You said that if I intend something, that has an effect on the universe at a subatomic level or at a quantum level, probably. Just the fact that I do not know about it, or you cannot keep things secret. Okay, my intentions affect other people, and maybe the ruler of the country, because in our traditions, in our culture, we say if the ruler is a righteous ruler, the whole country becomes prosperous. Now we thought, in fact, at least I thought, these are okay, spiritual statements which might or might not be true. Okay, but how can it, from a rational point of view, from a scientific point of view, there is no sense in that. The ruler becomes a righteous person, a good person, well-meaning person, the whole country becomes prosperous. Is there some truth to it?
Absolutely. And I can give you explanation how we study this from experimental point of view and from conceptual point of view. So from experimental point of view, we had many experiments now when people were sending their intentions, their emotions to water standing in our lab. So we have a sample of water in a glass, in a jar, and it is interconnected to the instrument, measurement instrument. We have background level, and then people send emotions. They may be in adjustment room, they may be in other country, they may be in other part of the world. This doesn't matter. So if they send intentions, emotions, then water changed its property. And it doesn't change its chemical content, it changes structure. And we had experiments with individual people, we had experiments with people from all over the world, organized by internet. In any case, it was significant effect. But what does it mean? We are water, 70% of water. And all our cells, they are in liquid. So if we can influence water in a jar, then we can influence water in our body. So it means that people who are sending their strong intentions, emotions, they can really influence other people and they can influence the world. As to the strong leaders, again, there are people with different energy fields, with different power of energy fields, and it's proven by measurements. It's no doubt in this. There are ordinary conventional people and there are outstanding people. So if those outstanding people rule the country, then with their strong energy field, with their strong intentions, they can really influence tremendous group of population. And we have this same idea explained from a quantum point of view. Now we have a new branch in quantum science, branch based on remote interconnections on quantum level. And again, by the end of 20th century, it was proven that all particles, they are interconnected. It's proven now. And it is new branch of quantum physics, and it is based on the so-named Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen equations. So it was first proposed by Einstein as very unclear idea. So he was, for him it was unclear how it is possible to have interaction in different parts of the world. But then again, as I've told, by the end of 20th century it was proven, and now this is the basis of new quantum computing. It's coming new line. It's the basis of quantum cryptography. Again, it's coming new line, and this is the basis of conceptual understanding of consciousness. So our consciousness operates on quantum level. This is the most acceptable idea at the moment. This way, with our quantum systems, we are interconnected. So we influence each other. So the question is, why is it, if it is so, why are not people living in quiet and peaceful life?
Exactly. That's a question that I would like to ask.
Yes, absolutely. It's absolutely a logical question. But we have billions and billions of people in the world. And a lot of people, they have anger, they have frustration, they have disappointment, they have negative envy, they have negative emotions to each other. It is very, very common in the world. And that's why, by influencing each other, they destroy not only themselves, not only other people, but environment as well. And that's why I am so devoted to Buddhist philosophy. Because this philosophy gives you understanding of peace. First of all, peace of your mind, peace of your spirit, of your consciousness. And then that's why people who are devoted to Buddhist philosophy, they create absolutely different environment around themselves. And that's why I like so much to be here in Sri Lanka. Being here, I feel this. I feel this not only in people we communicate with.
I'm very glad to hear that. We are honored. Professor Korotkov, now I want to ask you a very fundamental question before getting on to very high level things. Now you said water can be influenced by our thoughts even if we are not close by. Now okay, it's a very it's something that we Asians, I believe, we have holy water, we have Zamzam. Even in Muslim tradition, in Buddhist tradition, we know, in the sense, know within inverted commas, that these things retain some spiritual power or energy or something, some quality in it. But you say, as a scientist who, without any such belief, as a research scientist, you say that water is influenced by thoughts of people, and water retains that as memory. Is water intelligent?
Absolutely. No, we never tell that water is intelligent. But water is a fundamental source of life. Without water, life is impossible. And water is the essence of our biological life. So water, it is very, very sensitive. And it reacts to positive, it reacts to negative. And it keeps this memory. That's why we have different water from different sources. We have very good water from natural sources, from the mountains, from rivers, from springs, and we have very bad water when it's processed and distilled. So when we influence water, it may be artificial influence, like in homeopathy. It may be our thoughts. We really change the property of water, and we change the property of water subjects. And what does it mean? It has very simple connotation. If we prepare food with love, with care, with positive emotions, then this food is very tasty. If we prepare food with neglectance, with anger, this food is very bad. And you know that as I know, in Buddhist tradition, when people make food, they need to have very good positive mood.
Of course.
And it's a really deep Oriental tradition.
Yes.
That's why we like so much having curry here, recent curry here in Sri Lanka. In good places, it is really very tasty. But if food is done with anger, with negative, it may be even poisoning.
Okay. And Professor, I would like to once again take you off at a tangent. Now, again about water. Now you say if water is exposed to good things, good thoughts, it affects, it's affected in a positive way. What about negative thoughts? Say different forms of music, very rough, crude music, or some malicious language, vicious language. Does it have negative effect as well?
Absolutely. So water may be influenced in positive way and in negative way, same as our body. That's why we have very good and it's traditions. It's very ancient traditions. What does mean good music? What does mean good meditation, good chanting? And what does mean negative? So always it was known for centuries. We just forgotten this in our Western world. We neglect this, and now we are coming back to origins. We are moving on spiral, coming back into what was said by Lord Buddha many centuries ago. That's why when, for example, we have special training course for pregnant women, we tell them that you need to be always in positive mood, never please be frustrated, never be irritated, never go to bad places, look only to beautiful pictures, don't look to ugly things, don't watch horrors, films, movies, don't watch thrillers, listen only to nice, good music. Then it has very clear influence to a baby. Then baby would be healthy and calm.
So this I thought was traditional wisdom. So now you say that it's the wisdom, even scientific wisdom.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm very glad to hear that.
And one of our aim of all our research, what we are doing, to prove that all these ancient traditions, they have very deep meaning, that it may be proven by scientific instruments, by scientific technology. And it's not only our laboratory, of course, it's a great movement all over the world. So all the world is moving to more healthy life, to more spiritual life. Not only to take care of our material body, but to take care about our spirit, about our soul. And then it really makes life full and interesting.
Yes, we'll take a little commercial break before I ask you another very important question. Welcome back to the program. Professor Korotkov, now you were saying that, say, bad words affect water, and we are composed basically of water, mostly of water, which means then bad thoughts, bad words, harmful conversation, abusive language can affect us, not only psychologically, even our energy field. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. You are absolutely right. And of course, we tried not to make experiments of this kind. But we did some experiments when people was expressing negative emotions, when they did very bad wordings, and we were able to see change of water parameters in these control experiments. And then, of course, it's very easy. You take this blessed water with good intentions and bad water, and you water just seeds, and you see the difference in growing. So it's very, very clear experiment. I always tell my students, please do it at home. Then you will see that it's really true.
Yes. Okay. Now let us get back to the positive thing. I don't want to take you off on the negative thoughts. Even I mean, that might affect my energy field as well as yours, and probably the viewers as well. So let us get back to positive. Now, have you done any experiments on, say, chanting, spirit chanting, to be precise? Have you done any experiment on that?
Absolutely. Yeah. It was a big series of experiments, and we've done it in a yoga center. And it was about 100 people who came there for training, for meditation. And every morning they've been collecting in a temple, and they made chanting. So we were able to take measurements both of people before and after, and to see their energy fields. And we were able to keep water standing there, and this water was measured before and several days after. So first of all, for all measured people, it was very positive effect to their energy field, and it means that it was positive effect to their health, because energy field is the basis of health. Then water measured after chanting changed its parameters. But again, your question is whether it is good or bad. We can always tell that blood and liquids in our body, they are structured. We don't have just water in our body. We have very specifically structured liquid. And when you are healthy, this is one structure. When people becoming ill, the structure changes. And we can study this in different technology, and we have plenty of data published in peer-reviewed journals about this. So when we have water with positive intentions after chanting, this water has same structure as water in our body.
Okay. Right.
So it means that by this process we make water much more acceptable for our blood, for our system. That's why all over the world in different religions there are always blessed water kept during chanting, during prayer, during meditation. And when people have this water is much better for health than ordinary water. Plus, we've done experiments and we were able to see that this water may keep this structure for many, many days. It may stay without any deterioration, and it may keep this structure. Of course, it depends on the power of prayer, the power of chanting. So again, it proves that water has memory, and this memory may carry positive information and may carry negative information. Unfortunately, in the world we have so many negative influences. We have so many negative technological, emotional factors that a lot of water in the world, they are just spoiled. That's why people are suffering from a lot of problems, a lot of diseases, and in accordance with World Health Organization, the purity and quality of water is the basis of life. So if you want to be healthy, you need to drink water, at least 1 liter or 2 liters per day, and to have it in very good quality.
Now let me take you on to another interesting subject, Professor Korotkov. Now you are talking about energy of space as well. Energy of space, in the sense, I mean, are there special places which are highly energized, say sacred places? Is there anything different from a normal house and a temple or a church?
Yes, we have developed a new another instrument that allows us to take measurement of energy of space. Again, I can give you very clear physical explanation what does it mean, but it doesn't matter. So we are measuring in laboratory, we are measuring at home, and it's very stable signal. But when we come to a special place, it may be a temple, it may be a church, it may be a cemetery, it may be a place in the environment having special energy. And when we take measurements, we see a very, very high intensive signal. It means that there are places in the world that has very specific energy compared with most of the other places. And it is a mixture of geophysical situation, what is underground, what we have under earth, station in the in space. A specific part of the world has specific magnetic fields, and human influence. So it is absolutely clear for me that for centuries it was holy people, it was sensitive people who was able to feel it, and then they felt it, and then in particular places they created some holy places. It was a temple, it was a stupa, it was monastery, it was church. In different countries it's different. But in every place like this we can measure very intensive energy. So we have now a lot of experiments of this kind worldwide, in Russia, in South America, in Asia, in different countries, and always we can find places where there are very high energy, and as a rule those are the places of temples, holy places, where people sacrifice their praise for many, many centuries.
This is the good intentions of so many people coming and worshipping or meditating in that creates it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So as we've been discussing, that water has memory, same as any material has memory. Maybe not as sensitive as water, but even stone has its memory. So when people worship in one particular place, they implement their intentions in surrounding, in the building, in the stone. Of course, we need a lot of experiments still to prove it scientifically, to study it scientifically, but now we have different instruments how we can do this.
Thank you very much, Professor Korotkov. You opened our eyes and minds to a lot of things, because we are very pleased to hear a scientist of your caliber talk to us about things that are very close to our hearts, as I said at the beginning itself. We believe that science is now, like you said, it's a spiral. You go around and come back to the center. The center can be the ancient wisdom, the wisdom of the ancient sages, Buddhas, Christ, and any other of all religions. Okay, so what we finally where we finally arrive at is spirituality is what matters, not materialistic development only. Materialistic development is necessary, but again spirituality is what matters to humanity. Thank you very much for giving us, the viewers of Sri Lanka, that message, and I'm sure we will, like you told me that you are very fond of Sri Lanka, and I hope you'll be coming back to Sri Lanka again, and I would request you to do some research on certain holy places, sacred places in this country, and tell us about them.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Professor Korotkov.
Thank you.